Here we will demonstrate the modeling procedure. First, a design image is drawn. A clay model is then constructed based on the design. Using the clay model, shrinkage rates and production costs are calculated before another plaster model is made. Various tools are used for the fine detailing of this plaster model. The model is then used to create plaster molds. Separate molds are created for the helmet, body, arms, and sword. There are two main techniques used for body casting. Here we will demonstrate jiggering casting. Jiggering casting is often used for the production of round dishes or cups. This is an automatic wheel cast. A clay body is placed on the plaster mold. A rotating metal mold is then lowered to shape the clay. Once the clay has been shaped, it is dried, causing it to shrink and dislodge from the mold. These metal molds have an inner and outer mold. For plates, the outer mold is used. For objects with more depth, such as cups, the inner mold is used. The other body casting technique used at our craft center is called slip casting. Items with more complex shapes, such as vases and ornaments, are created using this technique. Liquid ceramics called slip is poured into a plaster mold. The plaster mold absorbs the moisture from the slip, allowing it to harden over time. Any excess slip is discarded. Once the ceramic has been given time to dry, it can be removed from the mold. This technique is referred to as drain casting. Square-shaped or elliptical ornaments are made using a technique in which liquid ceramics are poured between an inner and outer plaster mold and pressurized. This technique is referred to as solid casting. Solid casting exploits the characteristics of liquid ceramics and plaster molds, allowing for more complex shapes to be made. The individual pieces are assembled and adjusted for completion. The various pieces made through slip casting are assembled. Using setting tools and sponges, the surfaces are smoothed. During this stage, liquid ceramics are used as an adhesive. The craftsman delicately assembles each piece. Once the pieces are assembled, the products are left to dry for 2 days. to up to a month depending on size, before being fired for the first time. This firing technique is known as biscuit firing. During biscuit firing, bone china will shrink by up to 13%. After firing, the products are coated with a glaze. The glaze coating serves to protect the piece. At the craft center, we hand paint the products with a pink undercoat glaze. This is so that any uneven or missed coating is easily noticeable. Next, glaze is applied evenly across the surface with an airbrush. After glazing, the products are fired again. This is called glaze firing. Through glaze firing, the products are concealed in a strong, durable and waterproof, yet beautiful, smooth and glassy coating of glaze. The two main firing techniques used are body firing and printing firing. Here we will demonstrate body firing. There are two ways to body fire bone china: biscuit firing and glaze firing. Biscuit firing takes place after modeling and turns the material into porcelain. Glaze firing happens after the products are glazed, providing a glassy coating and become the bone china that most people are familiar with. At the craft center, firing is carried out in a shuttle kiln, suitable for small quantities and many varieties of product. Detailed programming controls all firing temperatures and times. Here we will demonstrate the steps from design sketches to decal transfer paper printing. Decal transfers are printed on highly absorbent paper mounts using special paints designed for ceramics and coated with resin film. Based on initial sketches, graphic software is used to determine the design and layouts and create transfer paper data. Paints are mixed to produce colors accurate to the data and then printed onto transfer paper. Printing for ceramics requires a different layer for each color. By combining different layers, multiple colors can be printed onto the transfer paper. The completed transfer papers are examined carefully for any marks or scratches. Airbrushing is a method where a spray gun is used to apply paint to the products. This method is used to color wide areas or complex shapes. It is also used to add a shading or blurring effect. Masking techniques are used to prevent paint from getting on other areas. Great skill is required to ensure a wide area is uniformly sprayed. Transfer printing is the mainstream method of decorating Noritake products. When the decal paper is soaked in water, the base and design separate. Both the base and the design are placed on the product. The base is then slid out from underneath so that only the design remains. A rubber spatula is used to remove any moisture or air bubbles and set the design in place. The film of resin coating evaporates when the product is fired, leaving only the design baked onto the product. Next, we will demonstrate the gold finishing process. Gold finish is still applied by hand by highly skilled artisans. Gold is liquefied by mixing it with oils and acids before being applied to the ceramics. Prior to being fired, the liquid gold is a brown color. During firing, the oils, acids, and impurities combust, leaving only the gold. Noritake's floral patterns are hand-painted in the craft center using a technique called sugaki. Sugaki is only performed by Noritake's most experienced and talented craftsmen. Flat-tipped paintbrush work is characteristic of Noritake and is used for most hand painting. A variety of brush techniques, including partial blurring and sweeping, are utilized, giving the product an expressive, lively appearance. Ceramic paints change color during firing, and much care must be taken in mixing the colors. One of the important factors as a manufacturer is quality inspection. To ensure that our products are of the highest quality, the inspections are carried out with the utmost precision and attention to detail. All products are subject to stringent visual and physical inspection. Tactile examination includes touching all surfaces, rims and bases, and audio testing is conducted with a small hammer. By lightly tapping the products, audio tests can reveal any faults that cannot be seen or felt. To maintain quality and consistency, any product with even the smallest fault is disposed of.